Welcome class. This first video lesson goes with homework 1. It's actually a two-part lesson. Homework 1, we're going to focus on addition and subtraction, and 1B, we're going to focus on multiplication and division. The focus in this section is on learning visualization techniques to help us with math with signed numbers. So it's not that you don't have a calculator to do those things, it's that you should understand what the sign should be and how to visualize how to come up with those numbers. So that's what you want to focus on, is the process, not necessarily finding the final answer, which a calculator could do for you. So our goals: limit the reliance on the calculator, give you some sort of coping strategies. What can you do if something were to go wrong with your calculator, or if you don't trust the answer? What different types of strategies could you use? Figuring out number sense for reasonable answers, and then also to do a couple conceptual problems, which are applications. In addition, we're going to be working with signed numbers, so positive and negative numbers, and the negative will represent a decrease or a loss. If you're a kinetic learner, somebody who likes movement, we're going to be talking about moving backwards for negative and forward for positive. Some of the number sense issues: if I add two positive numbers, those are both positive, both increases, I should get something bigger. When I add a positive and a negative number, I'm going to get something smaller because that's an increase and a decrease put together. One of the tips and tricks is that the sign of the larger number is going to dictate the sign of your answer. So if I have negative 10 plus 7, I know just from looking at it, because the bigger number is negative, that I'm going to end up with a negative answer. And in this case, this is like I lost $10, but then I made $7, and I'm still in the hole by $3. So I'm still negative. Those are some of the things we're going to be working on. One of the things that I like to use are positive and negative symbols with cancellation. So for that one we just talked about, negative 10 plus 7, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the negative 10, visualized as 10 negative signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the positive 7, visualized as 7 positive signs. And then when I cancel negatives with positives, I'm left with 3 negatives. So that's one way of visualizing an addition problem. We can see a different one, negative 3 plus negative 2 on a number line. We're starting off at 0, and negative 3 says go back 3 steps. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And then take 2 more steps back, negative 4, negative 5. And so I end up at negative 5. So negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. And you should find, as you work through problems, are you a kinetic learner? Does that movement of moving forwards and backwards, maybe with your pencil or your hand, make sense? Maybe sometimes thinking of it in terms of money. Maybe you're a visual learner. The pluses and minuses and the canceling help you out. And once you find a strategy that works, that's the one you want to employ. So here's a question, 3 plus negative 5. So I'm going to visualize this as 3 positive signs, because the 3 doesn't have a negative sign in front, plus 5, and the 5 is negative, so I'm going to visualize that as 5 negative signs. And when I cancel out what they have in common, I'm left with negative 2. Here I'm going to use the number line. So I'm going to start off with negative 4, so that means go back 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. And then I'm going to go plus 3. 1, 2, 3. And I end up here at negative 1. So negative 1 would be my answer. If I have larger numbers, multiple digits, I like to line them up vertically. That's what you would call something like this. And then I can work in the ones place and the tens place. 4 plus 1 is 5, 3 plus 4 is 7. If you're a visual learner, sometimes people view this as number blocks. So then you can add up the tens blocks to get the 70 and the ones blocks to get the 5. With subtraction, subtraction is the opposite of addition. Adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting. When you added 3, you took 3 steps to the right, so subtracting 3 means 3 steps to the left. That's the same thing that we said plus negative 4 meant. When you added negative 5, you took 3 steps to the left. So if I'm going to subtract negative 5, subtract negative 5, that's actually going to be 5 steps to the right, which is the same thing as a plus 5. So subtracting a negative is going to be something I'm going to automatically rewrite as a plus 7. This first case, whether you view it as subtracting 5 or adding negative 5, that's 6 of one, half dozen of another. But really the two negative signs, that's sort of like in English saying, I will not go to the store, meaning I will go to the store. Keeping those two negatives in the sentence is awkward in English, and keeping the two negatives in the expression is also awkward, so it's good to make that conversion. So 4 minus minus 2 is really 4 plus 2. They're both positive, so I have $4 and I find 2 more. So this is 6. Negative 5 minus minus 3 can be written as negative 5 plus 3. Negative 5, positive 3. And again, we're left with negative 2. If you have any questions about doing addition and subtraction, please go ahead and send me an email, and the second half of homework 1 will be in the next video. Thanks. Bye.